When you're in a race, anybody ever run track in here? Raise your hand if you ran track. Okay. Or cross country. Or cross country is not as critical at this, but track is very critical. When you're running track and you line up in the blocks, that you're the first one out of the blocks, getting the jump, right? How you start. If you're a halfway good runner and you get a good jump coming out of the blocks, you have a good chance of winning the race. But even if you're a great runner and you slip coming out of the box, or you don't get a good jump coming out of the box, you're most likely not going to win the race, because how you start is critical. It is very, very important to get off to a good start. So, I never really would pick fights with people for obvious reasons. I'd get squashed like a bum. But what I did know is if you ever get in a fight, especially since you're small, you better hit really hard and you better hit first. Because if they hit you first, you're done. And so hit hard and hit first, right? So whenever I come into a new year, whenever I come into January, I'm already thinking, I want to start this new year right. I want to hit hard. I want to hit first. I don't want to wait till the devil hits me, that now I'm on the defensive and I'm trying to recover something. No, I want to come after him. I want him running in January. When January comes around, I want him going, oh no, we better get out of here because it's a new year. And you know how he comes out every year. He comes after us. I want to start strong. We want to come in here ready to hit hard and hit first. That when January happens, that the city of Jacksonville, that the kingdom of darkness all over this city is trembling. And that teenagers' lives are being impacted. That we come into January and it's like we take this big giant fist of Youth Quake Live and we smash it right down on Jacksonville, and dust flies everywhere and demons flee. That sounded good. So here's the theme for January. And we're talking about hitting hard and hitting first. How critical that is. Here's the theme, if you don't already know. It's fight or flight. In other words, sometimes you have to fight and sometimes you have to run. Gabe and I watched this movie recently that was not a very good movie, I didn't think, but it was about the Red Baron. I think it was called The Red Baron. Who was a World War I flying ace. And this was a time before they had radars and all this stuff and planes, and they would typically paint their planes white or some other color that would blend in with the sky, gray perhaps, and all this stuff. The Red Baron comes out with his plane painted red. And they're like, why'd you paint your plane red? They're all going to see you. He goes, I want them to see me. I want them to fear me. I want them to be scared when they see the red plane coming. And because he was a flying ace, 81 kills he had. There's this one moment when some of his superiors are having a conversation with him about what they should do, and he's like, we need to get out of here. That's what we need to do. And they're like, how can you, the Red Baron, say we should run? And he goes, the reason that I've had 81 kills is because I know when to fight and I know when to run. I know when I'm in a fight that I can't win and I need to get out of there. And that's what made him successful, more successful than any other flying ace in his time. And there are times for us when we need to fight, and then there's times when we need to flee. The Bible says that. In February, we're going to talk about that. The Bible says, flee youthful lusts. Right? Don't go there. Don't go into that area where you think, well, I can just handle this temptation a little bit, and I know when to put on the brakes. Wrong answer. Flee youthful lusts. So we're saying we want to start the year right because of how critical the start is. Imagine the impact that if we could get people at that show, and this is January, to commit to going into 2011. I always forget what. 2011, right? Imagine how it could look different if people there that night make a commitment like that. Imagine how it could be different in their schools or in their homes or in this city, in their own personal walk with God. That's what we're talking about. So.